Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 22nd of January 2019, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a look at the markets, a few charts. But before we jump into that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then guys, let's quickly jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to stop on is the DAX. Now looking at this one today, we're trading a little bit lower here, but still in line with our idea which we've posted here on TradingView yesterday, and this is the one that we were basically looking at a possible retracement back down a little bit first before another maybe push higher. But of course, as long as if this upside support line remains intact, so jumping back into our chart here and going into the 4-hour chart, this is exactly what's happening here right now. So we are having this little retracement back down. Certainly we're still keeping a close eye on this short-term upside support line taken from the lows of the 27th of December. Also, it's kind of supported here by this little key area of support. Shouldn't probably use the word little, but a key area of support here around the 11,000 level. So the psychological 11,000 also is here a little bit lower. So in a way, for now, of course, what we're keeping close eye on is of course this upside support line, and keeping in mind this scenario that I've just mentioned, a possible further retracement here to the downside, maybe a test of this 11,000 level again. And if the daily candle remains above this upside support line, then this could be a good sign, a good potential sign for the bulls maybe to step in and drive further the index up. But for those who are more on the cautious side, you could in a way keep your eyes on the this little level here around the 11,180 zone. So a nice good move above that would also place the price above the 200 EMA, which also could be seen something as a positive for the bulls, and we could see this one traveling further up then potentially, of course. And the next good area of resistance could be seen near the 11,330 level. So you can see that last time it was marked here by the low that we saw here back on the 4th of December. So keep your eyes on that one, keep your eyes on this potential scenario. Certainly for now, looking at the picture that we're seeing here right now, we are retracing slightly back, and if it continues to travel further down, well, keep your eyes on the psychological 11,000 level, and if it fails to kind of break below this, then yep, we could see maybe a rebound back up here. But if let's say we do have a break here below this upside support line and break below the psychological 11,000 level, well, for us, let's say, in order to kind of get more comfortable with much lower levels, we probably need to wait until this drives all the way below the 10,825 level, which was marked here by these lows. You can see here from around the 9th of January, or even actually the 8th of January, it acted as a nice area of support up until the 17th, so from which it kind of pushed higher and bounced and managed to break the psychological 11,000 level. So that's why we're going to keep a close eye on this level. So in a way, if this falls below the 11,000, it kind of continues to trade around this area. This is our neutral area, which we're going to just continue observing and see how it performs around that. But if the index decides to drop below the 10,825, this could be interesting, more interesting for the bears than the bulls. So keep your eyes on that one, guys. A very interesting index, and let's see how this short-term upside support line plays out. Jumping into silver now quickly. So looking at silver, So today we're having a nice rebound here from this 200 EMA, which is also coinciding here with the 15.25 level. Quite an important level this is. Certainly we had a nice push higher today already, but you can see that it failed to drive above the 21 EMA here, shown as the yellow line around here, around this level. Of course, we still remain somewhat more on the cautious side, and maybe on more neutral side, because it also has the same equal chance to travel lower here, because we're still trading above this upside support line taken from the lows of the 14th of November. So in a way, if this decides to reverse sharply back down and drops below the 15.25 level, now this is where it could become interesting, because we would start aiming for the psychological 15 level, or maybe slightly below that, the 14.90 level, so which was acted as a very nice area of resistance here back in the past, here back in October and November as well. Also December time, it acted as initially temporary pit stop for silver, but then it kind of broke it to the upside here and it continued traveling higher. So for now, guys, long story short, basically you could in a way keep your eyes on this 21 EMA. If this suddenly decides to drive further up here, and let's say the daily candle closes above yesterday's highs as well and above the 21 EMA, then well, we could maybe see a bit more correction here to the upside. Still, don't forget, we do have this downside resistance line here taken from the highs of the 4th of January running here. So in a way, this could also slow down the price. So in a way, if you're looking for something long term here, guys, wait for a possible break here through this upside, so through this downside resistance line, and then you could in a way aim for higher levels. But until then, they're just going to continue being very, let's say, careful with this one, because like I said, if this suddenly reverses back down and drops below the 15.25 level, this is where it could, like I said, end up moving lower towards the psychological 15 level, or even actually this upside support line. So keep your eyes on that one. Quickly, I wanted to touch on euro dollar. Don't want to spend too much time on it because we already discussed this one this morning. And basically, looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see that it slid lower, just kind of fell shy of hitting this upside support line that I was talking about, guys. This upside support line running from the lows of November last year. So in a way, we're still kind of looking at this one as a potential bouncing ground. Of course, for us now to, let's say, consider higher levels, we'd probably need to see this one traveling back up. And to be honest, let me just get rid of this line, because in a way it's a bit of a tentative one and no longer valid. So what you could keep an eye on here, guys, is of course look at the pivot, this pivot here around the 113.70. So if this suddenly today travels back up again, up here, and decides to kind of close above the 1.1370 level, certainly this could be a bit of a worry sign for the bears. We could, maybe more bulls could start jumping in here and potentially driving this one higher towards the 114 level and above. But for now, of course, be very careful. We are trading below the pivot, so it's more to the downside rather than the upside. And of course, you can see that today already we managed to test the S2. The big question here is, if this decides to, let's say, travel further down again today, will it actually break this upside support line or not, or will this upside support line continue acting as a good bouncing ground for this pair? So for now, guys, be very careful with this one. Probably, like I said, we are quite neutral on this one right now, just continuing to observe this this trading activity and see where and how it actually plays around this upside support line. So be careful, stay safe with this one, and continue observing the price action. Jumping into EURCAD, now this one is a very interesting one, and looking at the daily chart on this one, I can see that it's having a nice perfect rebound from this from this upside support line taken from the lows of the 13th of November, and of course now it's testing its key area of resistance near the 1.5145. Certainly if it continues to travel further up, and if we do get a nice pop above this level, and especially a nice close of the daily candle above that level, then certainly it is increasing the chances for this pair to move further up here, and we do have some good potential areas of resistance here near the 152.65 or slightly above that, the 153.05 level. So some good potential areas of resistance and potential targets here. But if, like I said, jumping back into the four-hour chart here, we need to see this nice good pop above this 150.145 level. Nice good strong move above that could, like I said, open the path towards slightly higher levels. Initially, of course, we will aim for this 152.65, and then we'll just take it from there. On the downside, well, I mean, as you probably understood, we need to see this break below the upside support line here before we can start examining much lower levels. But for now, until it's trading above that, it's still more to the upside rather than the downside. This leads us to CADCHF. So this is a very interesting pair, and not a lot of you trade that, but strongly recommend, because it's an interesting one. It's looking at this one right now, you can see that it's now breaking this upside support line taken from the lows of the 1st of January. So very short-term upside support line, a month's long only, and it's now breaking it to downside. Now that said, of course, it is looking more bearish than bullish right now, but the only thing is that you can see that this level right here around the 0.7465 level, it continues to hold as nice, it continues to play as a nice area of support. You can see that we already had twice the rate, kind of the pair got rejected around this level, and kind of pushed back up. So nevertheless, we are still trading below this short-term upside support line. Some could say maybe it's a bit of a tentative one, so that's why I'm kind of telling you guys to kind of don't really think that this is already like a bullish scenario here. To be honest, in order to kind of start looking at much lower levels, we need to see it drop below the 0.7465 level, and only then we'll target much lower areas. Certainly, I do have a very good potential area of support here near the 0.7375 level, which is marked by the lows of the 14th of January. But to be honest, on the way there, if this pair wants to travel further down, before reaching this level here, the 0.7375, there are some good potential areas, other areas of other areas of support which could play out nicely as well. Like for example, this one here around the 0.7425 approximately there. This could also be a nice area of potential test. So, but only, like I said, only if we get a drop here below the 0.7465 level. So keep your eyes on that one, guys. Very interesting pair. And on the upside, well, we will start considering higher levels if we see this one reversing back up here above this upside support line, and if it decides to start, well, if it starts wiping out these recent highs as we saw here near the 0.7510, something like that, approximately there. If we start seeing a break above that, then yep, we'll aim for higher levels. But for now we're just going to continue observing this one and wait for a confirmation break. And the last pair I wanted to quickly touch on, and that's GBPCHF. Now looking at this one, this is a beast right now. So but this beast, it kind of got held here by this little area of resistance near the 129.20 level. So you can see that it's trying to push back up here. This is a daily chart, by the way. It is trying to push back up. Let's see if it actually manages to break that level or not, because if it fails to even actually reach this level, then, well, this is where the bulls could start worrying, because we could potentially see a bit of retracement, a bit of a correction here back down, where the first level that we're going to be keeping an eye on is the 127.75, marked near the lows here of the 21st of January, in a way yesterday. So this is going to be that first level that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. And this is, by the way, a 4-hour chart. You can see that it's already close. It's not far from this 129.20 level. Let's see how it plays out, because if it actually fails to reach that area and starts reversing back down here and drops, let's say, below the pivot, now this is where it could become a little bit more tricky. Like I said, we could see further declines maybe towards this 127.75, and if that doesn't hold, well, a deeper correction, and that's correct, a deeper correction could be seen, because we're still overall we're still looking positive. We're still trading above this little upside support line. Let me just quickly put that on the chart here. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This upside support line is still kind of in play, so you can see that it's kind of showing the nice direction here for this pair. And if the pair drops below the 127.75, this is where we will target. This is what we will target. We will look at this this upside support line for a potential test, and we'll just take it from there. We'll see if it actually breaks it or not. But for now, guys, basically, long story short, for the upside, keep a close eye on the 129.20 level. Let's see if it actually breaks that or not. And if it doesn't, if it fails even to reach that level, then brace yourselves. We could maybe see a test of the 127.75. So keep your eyes on that one. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening, and I really hope you found it useful, guys. And if you want to join me tomorrow morning at my Traders Espresso, and that's 7 o'clock GMT time. But for now, for those who are still trading, I hope you have a fantastic trading day. For those who are finished for today, well, have a fantastic evening. Bye bye.